Guys, you gotta stop sneaking up on me like that. Jesus fuck, man. It's a fucking shit show. What you think you see, what you think you hear, that's what it's about. Mood and atmosphere. No, it's fucking garbage. It's garbage. Mood and atmosphere. Now that I really like. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see. What's that? Oh, no, it's true. You really do suck. Yes. Yes. It's unbelievable how much you actually suck. I mean, there was this one time. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. Yes, that's right. In this video, I want to talk to you guys, or I want to give you guys my new updated ranking on the Halloween movies, the original Michael Myers movies, but now with Halloween 2018 in the mix. I am excluding Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and I am excluding both Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. So this is just where I think this new movie falls in the original Michael Myers into the mix with the original Michael Myers movies. But before I get to that, I just want to say this. For all of you who have been wondering and been waiting very patiently, but wondering where my Halloween 2018 sequel concept video is, I promise you guys, it's coming. I'm still working on it. These kinds of videos take some time because I'm trying to make it as cinematic as I possibly can. You know, I'm not shooting any video or anything like that. I'll just be talking to the camera, but I'll probably have some sound effects and we'll dim the lights and I'll get really into it. You know what I'm saying? So usually when I shoot a video, including this one, I shoot it all in one shot. I edit it, and then I just upload it, like all within maybe an hour or an hour and a bit. But with a video like that, in terms of the concept idea that I have, there's a lot of detail that goes into it, a lot of things I want to talk about. I want to, have you guys live vicariously through what I'm saying, and that's takes some work. So, but do not worry, it is coming. I'm not sure when, but it is coming. I haven't forgotten about it. I promise it will be worth the wait. So in this video, like I said, I'm going to give you my updated ranking. A few months back, maybe several months now, actually, it's more than a few. I gave an updated ranking, or I gave a ranking on the original Michael Myers movies, but now that Halloween 2018 is out into the pop culture consciousness, I figured it was time to give my updated ranking. So, let's get to it. And you guys comment below and let me know what your ranking is now that you have seen Halloween 2018. Okay, here is my new rankings for the original Michael Myers. Well, I guess it's not really that new. I mean, I think the only thing that's really changed is I've added Halloween 2018 into the mix. So, most of you are probably not surprised by what you're looking at, but nonetheless, let's go through it as quickly as I can. You know me, I like to yabber. Let's start at the very top left, going from left to right. In the number one spot, no surprise, is the 1978 classic John Carpenter's Halloween. Now, for those of you that are new to my channel and may not know why I like this movie so much, I kindly point you to my 2018 review, the Halloween 2018 review entitled The Epic Halloween 2018 Review, and listen to the prologue at the very beginning of my review for that movie. I dive sort of deep into the backstory and how I feel about Halloween and why really they didn't need a sequel to that movie. It's a one-off. It was supposed to be a one-off. It works best as a one-off in my opinion. And but nonetheless, you can check that out if you want. For those of you that are not new, you know all this, and because I've essentially talked about this ad nauseum on this channel, so let's move on, shall we? Okay, in the number 2 spot is Halloween 2 from 1981. More of the night he came home. You know what? I got to admit, I still like this sequel better than Halloween 2018. Now, it is a far inferior film to the original, in my opinion, but there were a few things they did that I actually really liked that helped me to like this movie. But of course, there are a lot of things they did that I didn't like. But let's talk about the things that I did like first. One of the big things I like about Halloween 2 from 1981 is the fact that it picks up exactly where the original left off. And it doesn't just pick up where the original left off and then fast forwards, a year later. No, the entire movie picks up where the original left off. And this helps the credibility of the film. This helps make the movie feel more organic, like it's supposed to be there. And if you watch 1 and 2 back to back, it's almost like you're watching one movie, but with two separate parts. One of the analogies I like to use is back in the day when you would rent a 3-hour movie from the video store, or you would buy a 3-hour movie, I don't know, something like The Green Mile or something, you would get 2 cassette tapes, and you would pop in the first cassette tape, and you would watch 90 minutes of the movie, and then you would take it out and pop in the next one. And the next cassette tape would pick up immediately where the last one left off. And that's kind of how like this movie plays out. It feels very organic, like it's supposed to be there. All the original characters return. Despite the fact that I know that Dick Warlock is now portraying the Shape, but you know what I mean, in terms of Donald Pleasance, in terms of Jamie Lee Curtis, in terms of, Charles Cyphers, they all return. And Donald Pleasance gives another great performance. Dean Cundy also returns. So despite the fact that there's some things in terms of what we see and the blood and the violence, which I'll talk about in a second, stylistically, it still kind of looks like a Halloween movie. Not quite in this, it doesn't have quite the same charm and simplicity as the original, because obviously they have a bigger budget and they're playing with more fire. But Dean Cundy is still the DP, and you can see that Halloween-y vibe and that essence there. You can see it. Now, one of the things I didn't like about it, of course, one of the many things I didn't like, was the fact that they stepped up the game in terms of the blood and the violence and the gore, because they had to compete with films like Friday the 13th from 1980 and films in and around that time. So I wasn't crazy on that. It's certainly nowhere near Friday the 13th level, but I wasn't crazy on that. So, they sort of abandoned the formula from the original. Not entirely. I mean, certainly it is there, but they had to sort of expose the boogeyman a lot more, which I didn't really like. And I was not a big fan of the introduction of the motive in the sort of towards the end of the third act of Michael Myers being Laurie Strode's brother and Laurie being Michael Myers' sister. I was never emotionally attached to that. I understand that it seeped into the pop culture consciousness, and that's just the way it was. But I certainly was never attached to it. So I much prefer the original intent of the character in the story. So that kind of is a thumb down for me. But stylistically, and the fact that it picks up right where it left off, and the performances, and there are some really cool Michael Myers moments. Like, one of my favorite Michael Myers scenes of all time is in this movie, and that's when he kills the nurse Janet in Dr. Mixter's office with the syringe. It's beautiful. That is one of the most Halloween 1978 moments in Halloween 2 1981. So, I mean, that's fucking awesome. One of my favorite moments of all time in any Halloween movie, period. Anyway, so let's move on now to the third spot, which is 1988's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now, in my review of Halloween 2018, I said that Halloween 2018, depending on how I felt and depending on the day, could probably seep into the third spot. But you know what? The more I think about it, I think that when the dust settles this time next year, I think Halloween 2018 for me will remain in the fourth spot. So in the third spot for me is 1988's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Now, this is a far inferior film for me, even to Halloween 2, and certainly to Halloween from 1978. But you could tell that they were really trying in this movie, the mask aside, to really emulate what Halloween was in terms of the blue lighting, in terms of the low-key lighting, in terms of the fall atmosphere. This is the best Halloween movie in terms of autumn and fall. It's got one of the best opening title sequences of all time in a Halloween film. You really feel like it's the Midwest. The atmosphere is great. The mask is shit, but the atmosphere is great. So, that alone really, it feels very late 80s because it is, but the performance from Donald Pleasance in this movie as Dr. Loomis coming back, you really feel, I'm telling you, Michael Myers is here in this town. He's here to kill that little girl and anybody who gets in his way. I mean, you really feel like he's like, fucking listen to me, you fuckers. So, even though there are things about it, the mask is garbage, the kills are very weak in my opinion. I don't really like, George P. Wilbur's portrayal as the Shape, really, at the end of the day. There's a lot of things I don't like. Some of the cinematography is suspect. I would have much preferred they gone back to the aspect ratio of the original Halloween. But I gotta give credit where credit is due, and there's something about this movie that there's a nice charm to it. I don't think it's a great sequel, but I certainly think it's the best Halloween sequel. Prior to Halloween 2018, it was the best one outside of Halloween 1 and 2, in my opinion. So anyway, I could go on and on, but let's move on. Okay, falling in the number 4 spot is Halloween 2018. Now, you guys know how I feel about this movie. I liked Halloween 2018, but I did not love Halloween 2018. I thought Halloween 2018 was a very good modern day horror slasher movie with some Halloween-y things thrown in. But I don't necessarily think it was a great Halloween movie. There's a lot of creative choices they made that I did not agree with. There were a lot of things that I would have done differently, a lot of missed opportunities. But what they did very well, which makes what they didn't get right that much more frustrating and annoying. But that being said, you cannot deny that David Gordon Green and company put their heart and soul into this movie. It looks great. The production value is great. James Jude Courtney is arguably the best Michael Myers we've had since Nick Castle. Jamie Lee Curtis is not... It's not only a great performance as Laurie Strode, it could be one of the best performances she's had on screen in any movie in years. She brought her A game. That alone was worth the price of admission. So, it's important to understand that there's a lot of things to like about this, but there's a lot of things. Go watch my Halloween 2018 Epic review, the Epic 2018 Halloween review or something like that. Go watch that. It's an hour long. I dive deep. So go watch that if you want to know the nitty gritty details of how I really feel about it, because it's going to take way too long to talk about here. But one of the things I do want to mention that I really did like about this movie that was a pleasant surprise for me were the actual reveals of the kills. Now, you guys know me. I'm a huge proponent of that theater of the mind. What you think you see, what you think you hear. Nothing is scarier. Nothing anybody could ever show us will ever be scarier than what we conjure up in our own minds, right? I'm a huge proponent of that. So, when they started to reveal the gory kills, I was like, yeah. But then it became very apparent very quickly that most of the kills were happening off screen and you were only seeing the end result of those kills. And I found myself becoming very creeped out about it. It was very eerie, the presentation of it. I was living vicariously through the people who were discovering these kills, but the kills were not just murdered bodies. They were twisted and weird, and the jaw was over here, or the neck was snapped back, or the head was in the lap, or whatever it was epic. It was disturbing. And because we didn't see it happen, it made the impact, in my opinion, that much more powerful. Because I can only imagine in real life coming across something like that and thinking to yourself, holy shit, who the fuck are we dealing with? That is the end result of whatever the fuck happened here. It's like when you see a car accident, right? I mentioned this in my review. I'm pretty sure I did. It's like when you see a car accident, but you only see the end result of it. And the car is a shell of a car. Like, it doesn't even look like a car. And you think to yourself, how fast was that little minivan going that the end result is that? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, how bad was the accident that the car is in the tree? Like, holy fuck. You know what I'm saying? So there's this eeriness around the presentation, the reveal of the presentation of these kills that I found myself actually really enjoying. It was really cool. It was a nice fine line they walked between that theater of the mind and, you know, making sure they please the fans that want to see some blood. You know what I'm saying? So I really like that aspect about Halloween 2018. But if you want to know the nitty-gritty details, like I said, dive into that epic review. Okay, let's move on to number 5. And the number 5 spot is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Let's see if we can get through these as quickly as we can here. Listen, the reason why Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers is here and it's above Halloween H2O is simply because because it has a very fall atmospheric vibe to it. And it's got Donald Pleasance in it. And it's got, you know, Paul Rudd being Tommy Doyle. There's things about Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers that I can sort of find myself attaching to. I don't think it's a good movie. I really don't. At the end of the day, I like it better than H2O 5 and Resurrection. But that's primarily because it sort of still feels like a Halloween movie. It still kind of feels like the remnants of what's ever left still kind of feels like it's attached to the ones that I know that I liked, primarily because of Tommy Doyle or Donald Pleasance, or, you know, it's still kind of there. And of course it was shot, you know, in Salt Lake City, Utah, or at least in and around that area. So it's got that Halloween-y vibe to it, the Midwest fall environment. So there's things that I can find myself glomming onto, but at the end of the day, I don't like the story. I didn't like the direction they went. And no, I don't like the producer's cut. The producer's cut doesn't change anything. It gives more context to some things that may not have made sense when you watch the theatrical cut, but at the end of the day, it's the same fucking movie with the same fucking ending. Nothing changes. It's not like you watch the producer's cut, it's like, whoa, oh, instead of going this way, they went that way. I mean, not really at the end of the day. So, but that's why it's there. That's why it's there. I don't hate the movie. I don't loathe it like I do a couple of the other ones coming up. But you know, that's why it sits there primarily. In the 6th spot is Halloween H2O. I really probably, I don't know. I really don't like this movie. I saw it 3 times in the theater, but that's primarily because it was one of the first Halloween movies I saw in the theater. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers was the first, but I watched it because I worked at a movie theater at the time that this came out, and I could see movies for free, so it was like, let's go watch Michael Myers kill some bitches for, you know, a couple of hours, right? So that's essentially why I wasn't paying for it. But that being said, this doesn't feel like a Halloween movie. It doesn't look like a Halloween movie. I've said this ad nauseum. It looks like Michael Myers walked onto the set of Dawson's Creek. It is very mid-90s horror. It feels like they are capitalizing on the aesthetic and the presentation of what you saw in the mid-90s, whether it was Scream, whether it was Scream 2, whether it was I Know What You Did Last Summer, whether it was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, whether it was Urban Legend, whatever it was, it feels like that mid to late 90s horror movie. It doesn't feel like a Halloween movie at all. You know, the only thing I really like about it is that Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and you can somehow try to get lost in, oh, this is a sequel to, oh, cool, it's Jamie Lee Curtis and she's suffering from trauma and she's an alcoholic and she's got, oh, that's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, it really feels like I'm watching a Dawson's Creek Halloween. Like, that's kind of what it feels like. So I can't say I like it. I really don't. You know, at the end of the day, again, there's redeeming qualities that I can find, but that's why it sits down here on the list for me at the end of the day. All right, let's move on to the number 7 spot, which is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I'm sure some of you are probably surprised it's not dead last. Well, it could be. I mean, it's not like it's not dead last by a long shot. Holy fuck, this is a fucking shit show. The only reason why this is 7 and not 8 is because I can find some redeeming qualities. It's still got that, you know, that autumn fall mood and atmosphere. Donald Pleasance is in it, right? Playing Dr. Loomis, although he's fucking batshit crazy. I don't know, you know where he is, don't you? You know. It's like, fucking calm down, doctor. Fuck, he's losing. Somebody put a straitjacket on this guy. But you know, you got Dr. Loomis there, right? But yeah, there's so many things. There's, you know, the bumbling cops and the cartoon music and the killing of Rachel so early on, which was a huge mistake, absolutely huge mistakes. We're emotionally attached to this character. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, should have focused on the relationship between Rachel and Jamie and their relationship with Dr. Loomis. And there's a video on my channel from about, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so, where I talked about a loosely based concept idea for Halloween 5. You can check it out. It's somewhere. I'm sure it'll come up if you type in Dave McRae Halloween 5. There's a couple of videos that'll come up, and it'll be one of them, no doubt. So, but anyway, yeah, for the most part, it's a fucking shit show, and I could go on and on, but let's fucking move on here to the final fucking shit show. In the 8th and final spot, it is 2002's Halloween Resurrection, the sequel and follow-up to 1998's Halloween H2O. Holy fuck. Oh my God. This is, look, I mean, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween 5, it's close, man, it's close. But this doesn't feel like a Halloween movie. It doesn't feel like a Halloween movie at all. You got Tyra Banks in there, you got Busta Rhymes in there. It's capitalizing on the pop culture of what was in the pop culture at that time, like Survivor and, you know, and the webcams and that kind of shit. And it's not that that's not a cool idea, but it didn't feel like a Halloween movie. The Mask was better. I mean, that's okay, that's kind of cool. The Mask looked better, but The Mask was in a fucking shitty movie. And Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode eats it in the first, 15 minutes of the film. And she's kissing her brother goodbye as she falls. You know, so this is fucking lame, man. It's lame. It's lame. And of course, you got the trick or treat, motherfucker, and all this, and he drop kicks Michael through the thing, and he's out on the... there's so many... Maybe I will do a video at some point because I did a video about how much I hate Halloween 5. Maybe I will do a video on Halloween Resurrection. Maybe I will, but I don't know. It's so hard for me to talk about these things because they're so bad, man. They're so bad. They're so bad. But anyway, that is my ranking list. It's never going to change. It's not like I'm suddenly going to watch Resurrection and it'll jump to the 3rd spot. It's not going to change. That's probably going to be set in stone from here on out. Well, there you have it. My rankings for the original Halloween movies with Michael Myers in them, with Halloween 2018 in the mix. My name's Dave McRae. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Comment below and let me know where you place Halloween 2018 into the mix of the original Michael Myers Halloween movies. I mean, if you want to throw all the Halloween movies into the mix as well, including Season of the Witch and the Rob Zombie films, knock yourself out. But if you want to do what I did, feel free to comment below and let me know as well, because I'm very curious on where Halloween 2018 sits for you guys now that the dust has settled, a couple of months have gone by, but of course, hey, it's January the 10th today, 2019. Halloween 2018 comes out on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K in 5 days. Things are going to start to heat up again. Also, I do plan on doing a live commentary on Halloween 2018 right here on this channel. Look out for that as well. My name's Dave McRae. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can at facebook.com/manythingsdavemcrae. That's where I tend to post in the meantime and in between time when I'm not posting here. Link is in the description, as well as links to my Patreon, my merch store, IMDb, Twitter, my website. It's all down there. Check it out if you feel like it. If not, well, whatever. So yeah, comment below and let me know. I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.